Support for Steppin Out comes in part from the Kristovich family in honor of Mary Lou and Bill Kristovich. This program is sponsored in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support the arts and culture in the greater New Orleans area.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, spotlighting the New Orleans area's arts and entertainment scene. Seated at our table tonight, Poppy Tucker, host of the radio program Louisiana Eats, airing twice weekly on WWNO Radio. Hello, my dear.
Hello, Peggy.
Great to see you. Making his Steppin Out debut, Matt Hinrichs, here to give us the scoop on new dining spots within the recently renovated Pavillon Hotel on Poydras. Nice to see you. Hello. And he's back, Alan Smason, the award-winning, we'll talk more about that, of the Crescent City Jewish News and TheaterCriticism.com. Hello, Mr. Allen. And also back, we're so glad, WWL-TV's Alfred Richard, here to discuss current film production activity right here in New Orleans. But first up, Miss Poppy.
Well, everybody knows about culinary on the South Shore, but I want to remind everybody that it's Tammany Taste of Summer on the North Shore, continuing through August 31st. There's brunches and lunches for under $20, dinners for $39 or less in lovely spots like Annadel Plantation, the Dakota, Baco Bar, Oxlot 9, Lola, the Old Railroad Brewing Company, Hambone, and as part of the fun, Barrel Wine Bar is hosting a special chef series every weekend, and that's $39. This weekend chef is Robert Vasquez, for those of you who know and love him. And La Cornue Bella Cucina Cooking School is offering free open house every Saturday in August from noon until 2, featuring culinary artisan baking demos, and they're serving little bites and wine. Great place to stop by. And then Thursday, at the end of the line, Thursday, August the 29th, is a must-do. Bubbles and Bites Bubbly Wine Fest at Del Porto, pairing chefs David and Tori Salazzo's award-winning innovative Italian cooking. There's going to be over a dozen wines, a sparkle cocktail, and a raffle, and tickets for that are just $75. And here's the amazing deal. This year, for those of us on the South Shore, if you want to go spend the night, there's discounted hotel rooms.
That's a great idea.
By just mentioning Taste of Tammany. So when you call for your hotel reservations, make sure you get that discount. Now, you know how big I am on culinary travel, virtual style in the summertime, and I've kind of been to China lately, and I wanted to take you along because the Wishing Town Bakery on David Drive is one of my favorite new places in the world. This adorable young Chinese couple, Vivi and Kevin Zhang's fabulous bakery. It's a lot like a real dim sum parlor. They deliver stacking baskets of steaming dumplings to the table, things like shrimp dragon dumplings, sweet rice meatballs, bao, real soup dumplings. That's really a big deal. You had to go to New York or San Francisco for years to get those. All incredibly inexpensive. Most things are under $7. And the desserts, oh my goodness, do you see that cake? That is a mill crepe, which is a million little layers. It's light, 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 and they do adorable things. That's like a little dig site. Isn't that precious? So go see them. Their cakes are beautiful. Their food's delicious. It's a bargain. I love that place. Now, seems like everybody has loved Zandin on Decatur Street down in the quarter. Everybody's been hearing the big rumble about that little dumpling parlor. But here's but you go and nobody can get in. The crowds have been so big. Well, they just started serving lunch. So there's lunch now from 11 till 3. Dinner is now 5 until 11. And oh, the food is as good as everybody says. Seaweed and tofu salad, there's shumai, shrimp hargao, salt and pepper shrimp. The thing really not to miss is the crab meat and crawfish bao, and that is chicken mozzarella balls. Now that is real. Who ever heard of that in a Chinese restaurant? But they're just doing unusual things. It's really great, and don't miss these Chinese-style dumplings. I never had that any place before, and I think it was the yummiest thing I ate. And then the dumpling madness continues at the Pisco bar at the Catahoula Hotel, where they have 50-cent dumpling happy hour, 5 until 7 every day. For 50 cents, you can get their Nighthawk dumplings stuffed with shiitake mushrooms, tofu, carrots, and cabbage. And then there's other great things on the menu, like sweet potato dumplings, tan noodles, and they have a bananas Foster bao for dessert. So it's $2 off cocktails and $1 off of beer. It's such a great place to just tuck away in. So
For the uninitiated, what's a bao?
a bao is a little steamed bun that has more of a bready outside and delicious, yummy inside.
Okay.
B-A-O, bao.
Wow, okay. You see, you can learn stuff here, I'm telling you. Okay, speaking of learning, so exciting. The Pavillon Hotel, which I've always thought was one of the most beautiful hotels, and right there in Poitras, has been totally renovated, including its new spaces, dining spaces. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. So the renovation of the Crystal Room, which is formerly known as Crystal Room, everybody knows it, is now Bijou. And it's totally renovated and still keep the mix of old and new. And it's beautiful. We use it for breakfast right now, but also we're going to use it for brunch starting on September 1st.
But the bar, how
and
exciting
then the bar, absolutely.
Is that, huh?
Actually, our general manager, Parker Sams, came up with the concept and name. So cachette means hideout, and actually during the Prohibition time, they were literally like the leaders of New Orleans coming downstairs in the basement and having a drink secretly. And it helps also with history that it's Al Capone's bar. So it's really, it's amazing.
Really? The bar itself?
The bar, yeah. It belonged to him.
It used to, really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Wow.
So there you go. You see, learning more stuff. So obviously you're dining at the bar, and you have,
Yes, you can.
now you have a show and tell.
Absolutely.
What do we have on the table here, sir?
The famous gold dusted wings. So you braise them in the oven, then for crispiness we fry them. And then we use a gold butter, we use some garlic, sugar, and some sweet chili. And toss it around, and they're perfect.
So you have appetizers, but you're also serving full meals there
Yes,
at the
yeah,
bar, too.
absolutely.
Okay. Now, what are we sipping tonight?
Sipping tonight on Premier Class. It's equal parts of bourbon. We use bullet bourbon, and then Averna Amaro, Aperol, and orange juice. And then a little bit of gold in there as well.
Ooh,
Cheers.
cheers.
You can smell it.
Should have one of
Cheers.
those, more of those carrots to go with the gold, huh?
Now, I remember way back when, during Saints games, you all would be open for brunch in what is now the Bijou. Is that going to happen again?
Absolutely. Starting September 1st, we're going to have brunches in Bijou, even throughout the Saints games as well.
Oh, that'll be fun. Okay. And then now also you're going to be having Bloody Marys at the Saints for the Saints
Yes,
games, too?
absolutely. So not only for the Saints game, we're also going to
That
have
is the
it
most
during the
beautiful
brunch.
room.
It's really amazing. And we're going to have a huge Bloody Mary display where you get the Bloody Mary from the bar and you can make your own arrangement. Like it's going to be a hall. You can pick anything. There's going to be sliders on there and everything.
Oh, that sounds like a
goodness.
lot of
Yeah.
fun. The lobby has been totally, everything's been totally
Everything,
renovated.
yeah, absolutely everything. But still, what I like, they kept some of the old, like atmosphere in it and just made it a little bit modern. So I like the mixture. It's pretty unique in the city, I think.
Now, your New Orleans trivia, what was the original name of this hotel?
Oh, I don't know.
When John Meekum owned it, or?
No, but no, that was the Pavillon. Okay.
Wasn't it Lafayette?
No, it was the DeSoto.
The DeSoto, that's right.
The
The
DeSoto
DeSoto, that's right, yeah,
Hotel,
that's
yeah.
right.
But from 1907,
1907, that's why we kept it inside the name.
Yeah. So once again, go and have dinner there at La Cachette.
Absolutely, yes.
I love it. Cachette 1907.
1907,
Huh?
yes.
Okay. And then breakfast. Now breakfast in Bijou is also just about every day.
Every day
too.
from 7 to 11, you
That
can
is a
enjoy
pretty
breakfast.
room. Now that's a special event room. room, too.
That's also used for weddings if you want, or other functions.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's a grand old room. Well,
Yeah.
good. Well, welcome.
Yeah.
We're so glad you're
Thank you.
here. And time for New Orleans Magazine's quiz queen, Julia Street. We have a question from her. Of course, always about New Orleans. Last time, Will Hudiment identified the names of a musical in which Louis Armstrong's song was made famous, and a movie starring Robin Williams, which also featured a song by Armstrong. The answer's Hello, Dolly, of course, and Good Morning, Vietnam. Now, tonight's question. Many New Orleans cocktail traditions and cocktails originally call for one of two types. Okay, Alan, you cannot say. Okay, one of two types of bitters. Okay, what are those bitters? Okay, what are the different types of bitters? Email your questions to steppinout@wyes.org. Our prizes are your subscription to Louisiana Life magazine, a shirt with the message All Dat Jazz from our friends at wearablevegetables.com, and a pair of free admission passes to either the Audubon Zoo, Aquarium of the Americas, or the Butterfly Garden and Insectarium. You can go to wyes.org/steppinout, okay, for our online calendar, including, if you've never been to this, the Helen Brett, okay, New Orleans gift and jewelry show at the New Orleans Convention Center. It's in Hall H this time. The show actually runs all the way through Sunday. It's for ages 12 and older, okay, but fashion and home accessories, great for early shopping. I can speak from personal experience. There is an admission fee. You used to not be able to go unless you had a business. Right. And bring a bag, bring a big bag. Okay, and you can also link to WYES's YouTube channel to see our program. And now, Alfred, lots of action. Here we are in the summer, but there's still stuff going on, isn't there?
There is the case. That is definitely the case. When originally, a few years ago, when we talked about what happened to Hollywood South, well, Hollywood South is back with a vengeance, not only for movies, but television production as well. And just as a note, I've actually applied for a few of these gigs. They haven't hired me yet, but oh well, I eventually will be discovered. But what we're going to talk about are some of the big features that are in town and some of the big stars that have been in town as well. First of all, Bill and Ted Face the Music. Yes, Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter are back. Now, Keanu's been having sort of a resurrection of his career, especially with the John Wick films. And so he decided, let's bring back Bill and Ted. And so the gang's all together. He and Alex Winter will find out it's a really excellent idea. And it's being filmed in the area right now. Production's going on through mid-August, and it's supposed to be released in August of 2020. So next year, Bill and Ted will fly through your area. Then there's also Filthy Rich, which has absolutely nothing to do with the unwashed masses. It is a series starring two very familiar names. Kim Cattrall, who of course just recently did an interview talking about how she wasn't going to do Sex and the City 3, but also Gerald McRaney, another who's very familiar with the New Orleans area. It's about a very rich family, and they're scheming to try to get the money. That's why the Filthy Rich. And you saw some of the kids who are trying to scheme and get that money. I know the schemers, as the Joker would say. And also, there is The Purge. Now, there's been several Purge movies. Yeah. Well, The Purge has become a series, and it's now into its second season. Just as a note, I had the opportunity to play a distressed father on The Purge, so just for full disclosure. Again, it is being filmed all around the area. Tulane University, in one area, some of our local schools have been used as centers for The Purge. And of course, Oprah Winfrey's own production company is still pushing out another series of Queen Sugar. And Queen Sugar is doing very well. It's starting its next season now. And so you'll see them going in and around the area too. They've been uptown at the New Orleans Science and Mathematics School, which is doubled as a courtroom, set of course in outside of New Orleans, Louisiana, in the countryside, as my parents used to say. But not only do we have all these programs and films being made here, you've got a lot of stars in town, and they're popping up all over the place. Case in point, Bryan Cranston. Now, we all know Bryan Cranston from Breaking Bad. Well, he and Jesse actually tended bar just recently.
I was there because he has his own tequila line now.
Well, that's why he's pushing that here. He's here for a series called Your Honor, a Showtime movie series, and it's going to start production in September. But he's been hanging around the courthouses trying to get some of the flavor of what it means to be a judge in this area. So don't be surprised if you see Eisenberg somewhere in your future.
And he's a 2-time Tony Award winner, too.
That's right.
And Trumbo he made here too.
Dalton Trumbo, he loves New Orleans, and so come back to New Orleans. He's spending lots of time. Another person who's spending lots of time here, Jennifer Lawrence. Now, Jennifer Lawrence is in a film that right now has a title that's a little odd. They're going to work on it. It's called Untitled Soldier Project. I'm sure that's going to fit well on the marquee. But it's being done with director Leila Neurenbauer, and she is very good. In fact, you've seen her in other areas. You've seen her at Commander's Palace, other areas uptown. She apparently loves being there, so I'm sure T and Lally are very happy to have her there. But again, Jennifer Lawrence, if you're looking for the stars, you may hang around there and see. Also, another big star, and I mean really big, Russell Crowe.
Oh, yeah.
The Oscar Award winner for Gladiator, and of course he did A Beautiful Mind. He is here for a film called Unhinged. Now, the production started on July 15th. Now, originally it was supposed to end on August 23rd, but sources tell me it's going to continue with a few more scenes being shot through the end of this month and into September, with a release date of fall of 2020. So this is one that's being considered as a possible Oscar concern. And of course, Russell Crowe is always
he's hanging around and about in the city too, because I've been hearing tales of who's been partying with him.
Really?
I know he's around
Well,
and
let me
about.
tell you, he's going to be a surefire Emmy too, because of Showtime's The Loudest Voice.
Yes.
Playing Roger Ailes, unbelievable, and you barely recognize him. It is such a transformation.
Is sort of like when Christian Bale, when Christian Bale changed himself
really
to look like the Cheney.
Alfred.
Amazing.
All right.
Also, as I said, Keanu Reeves, Bill and Ted, but also Kate Hudson. Kate Hudson is also in town for Mona Lisa and the Blood Moon, along with Craig Robinson, who is here from the film originally Hot Tub Time Machine. And again, full disclosure, I worked on Mona Lisa and the Blood Moon. It was shot at the airport. I'm trying to be the hardest working man in media in this area. I got to beat out Eric Paulson somehow. But this is what it means. And there are a lot more projects in the pipeline. So New Orleans is back when it comes to film and television.
It's great to see you again.
Thank you.
And now it is time for our Artist Spotlight. Tonight we are highlighting the work of artist Carol Halleck. She often paints bayou and marsh scenes from her kayak. We have first up a bicycle. She didn't do that one from the kayak, okay? And we also have an oil and linen piece, probably for this one she did, Morning Fisherman. Halleck's art is so beautiful. It will be on view as part of a white linen night in Covington this Saturday evening at Armbruster Artwork Gallery. That's where her work will be. It's going to be featured through August the 27th. To learn more about Covington's White Linen Night, go to gocovington.org/events. For more info on Halleck herself and her work, visit carolhalleck.com. And now, Alan, it's so great to have you, and congratulations.
I'm back. Well, we're going to get to that. You know, I had some amazing times. I was away at the World Scout Jamboree, which had not been held in the United States since 1967. This is the 24th World Jamboree, and I had a great time there. But while I was away, I received notice that I'd won, not one, not two, but all three of the categories I've been named as a finalist for at the Press Club Awards. And again, for the second year in a row, I got the Bill Rainey Memorial Award for Breaking News. And again, I also was cited Best in Show for the Ashton Phelps Senior Memorial Award for the Best Editorial, which amazed me. And also, more to what people are interested in here, I got the Best Critical Review for a review I did on Peter Pan at JPAS.
Congratulations.
So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I just love to be able to serve, and I hope that the other nominees, Dominic Massa and Errol Laborde, among them, I'm humbled by
And they
the
all won,
acknowledgments. And they
too.
all really, deserve to be winners, and they were in essence. But
they were.
Want to just say it's a pleasure to serve aside from them and to be in the same category with them. Now, on to some of the shows that are on the boards now. I wanted to talk first off about the Tennessee Williams Theater Company of New Orleans. It's hard to believe 5 years now that they've been together. They opened their 5th season with the Glass Menagerie. As co-artistic directors, Augustin Carrero and Nick Shackelford have been really putting on an impressive number of really top quality shows. For their namesake, Tennessee Williams, of course, they've been concentrating mostly on his work, but occasionally doing some things that are not Tennessee Williams' work. Carrero is generally the director of these works. He's always given very thoughtful consideration to the pieces that they're being performed. The Glass Menagerie, of course, is currently running at the Maroney Opera House, and it's imbued with no less a talented cast. Judy Lee Steele plays Amanda, and Julia Deloise is Laura Wingfield. And again, as Amanda, Julie Lee Steele gives an ebullient and memorable performance. She really is the domineering matriarch of the family. She's reproachful in her manner towards her children, and she's quick to tell anybody who listens to her how much she sacrificed when she married that man who fell in love with long distance and left them. Again, those of you who are interested in finding a little bit more about it, the Glass Menagerie star of Laura, Julia Deloise, is really dominated by her mother, of course. This particular Laura is a little bit different than the ones that we're used to seeing in the direction that Augustin Carrero probably gave to Deloise. I'm thinking that a lot of this was his ideas too. Normally she's seen as a limp, having a limp. She's seen as an impaired person. And a lot of her strength really shows in this particular production. And I really thought that a lot of that was downplayed, and it really allowed her character to really come forth with a lot more robust attitude and a little bit more strength than she'd normally been seen in previous productions. The scenes with Amanda and Laura, of course, perhaps the most engaging. Steele beautifully captures that formidable matriarch of the family, and of course fantasizes about her own past, of course, and plays to these 2 children that she has. Of course, the main child that we talk about is Tom Wingfield. It's, after all, a memory play, and it's his memory that we see played out on stage. He's the narrator of this piece. The fellow who plays Tom is Nathaniel Trerog, and Gordon, I found that some of his pieces were rushed. Some of the lines lacked a little bit of the poetic essence that is imbued in a lot of the lines that the playwright intended. And so sometimes there's a disconnect to the actual characters I found to be missing. Something between the mother and the sister and the brother and the son seemed to be not really kind of firing on all cylinders. So sometimes the comedic elements work well, but not always. The scenes with Jim O'Connor, though, Matthew Rates, the gentleman caller, also should be called out as very good. Generally a very good production. Some differences, again, from other productions. I finished this run this weekend. Now, it's been 4 years since Dorian Rush has been on a stage. She did her last one-woman show with Linda Ronstadt's tribute show. And I have to tell you, it's about time, because she's come up with belting the blues in 100 Years of Women in the Blues. And I know she was on the show not too long ago.
Yes.
She has a powerful and sensual voice. She moves from early blues icons like Bessie Smith and Mamie Smith to more recent icons like Aretha Franklin, Coco Taylor, and Bonnie Raitt. And interspersed between the songs are these really beautiful pieces that she does. That she's really well researched these commentaries on all of these figures, a plethora of anecdotes about their lives. Rush does more than just sing the blues, though. She really feels them in her essence, and the songs come out not only through her vocals, but through her very pores. I would say she takes ownership of these songs in a way that many of these other people would love to have seen her perform. She begins with things like Stormy Monday and actually goes on a blackboard and shows you what the blues are all about. She also pays homage to our own New Orleans blues queen, the late Marva Wright, as well as the soul queen of New Orleans, Irma Thomas. So if you get a chance, go check out the show. There's so much to love about it. She has a take on Billie Holiday that's also impressive. Again, check it out, 100 Years of Women in Blues, and that's at the Teatro Wego in West Wego, put on by JPS and Jonathan Maris Productions. The hoopla is now over. I have to say, it's taken several weeks, but the Stage Door Idol competition is now finished, for 2019 at least. And it showed us again that anyone can win on any particular night. Only for the second time in its history, the wildcard entry of Brittany Williams won. The last time was Spencer Rocca when he defeated everyone a few years ago with his Frank Sinatra rendition. The judges at BB Stage Door Canteen last Tuesday crowned her the winner, and she won that $1,000 prize. And finally, I want to mention that Bremner Duthie, who is a New Orleanian by choice, is coming out with a Kurt Weill show this weekend only at the newly renovated and new ownership of the Always Theater. That's on St. Claude Avenue. Duthie, of course, is an amazing talent, and I hope one day we'll get to see him on Steppin' Out because he's fantastic. Again, Kurt Weill, called Whiskey Bars, and
I think we can make that
homage.
happen. Okay, good. And now time for our picks. Poppy.
The Rose Soiree at Copper Vine is benefiting Dress for Success. It's tomorrow night from 6 until 9. Tickets are $55, and there'll be beautiful rosés and delicious food benefiting Dress for Success.
All right. Matt, Bloody Mary.
Bloody Marys and dealer's choice. Make your own drink or get a Bloody Mary.
Oh, sounds good. Sounds very good.
We got news this week that Hadestown is coming to New Orleans on its national tour. No word yet if it's going to be at the Sanger or at the Mahalia Jackson. More on that later. And also, I want to remind everybody that Ricky Graham is coming back, our crown prince of comedy. He's going to be doing Growing Up New Orleans Style at the Rivertown Theaters for the Performing Arts. That's coming up on September the 29th and again on October the 6th.
Okay, Alfred.
And on Saturday, if you want to find out who could be the next group of 6'10 stompers to join, go to the Harris Theater starting at 12 noon, the Stomper Finals. From those 40-plus guys, 10 or 12 will be picked, so it will be a cutthroat competition.
All right, thank you, Alfred. And now it is time for my picks. Guitarist John Rankin, we love John, returns to the Columns Hotel on St. Charles Avenue. He will be performing there every Tuesday at 8 p.m., no cover charge, and their food will be served until 10 p.m. To find out more about Rankin's upcoming events, go to johnrankin.net. The Historic New Orleans Collection is hosting Art of the City Family Day, featuring hands-on drawing and sculpture, youth-focused tours, and storytelling. The event is tomorrow, Saturday, from 10 to noon at the new Exhibition Center at 520 Royal, the WDSU. Admission is free, such a deal. For more info, visit hnoc.org. The New Orleans restaurant called Vessel, was also formerly known as Redemption and earlier Christians, will actually be featured next Thursday night at 9 o'clock on the Travel Channel, Channel 66 on Cox, New Orleans. It is part of this series called The Dead Files, and it focuses on paranormal activity in the building that's been there for a long time. There will be a viewing party at the restaurant, and I am told there will be giving away a special cocktail in conjunction with the screening. All right. The Noka Institute is having a two-day playwriting class with award-winning writer Barrett O'Brien. We remember Barrett, of course, next Friday and Saturday, August 23rd and 24th. Enrollment is $160 for adults 18 years and older. Go to the nokainstitute.eventbrite.com. The Symphony Chorus of New Orleans is having their fundraiser, An August Night, in August. That's at Antoine's next Saturday. That's August the 24th, once again, at 7 p.m. During the evening, there will be performances of popular jazz and classical selections by members of the chorus. Tickets available at symphonychorus.org. And WYES is having a barbecue Labor Day weekend on Saturday, August the 31st. Boots, beer, and barbecue. It includes a sneak preview screening of an episode from the new Ken Burns series, Country Music. The event will also feature live music from the group Wayward Jones. Tickets are just $35 per person. Go to wyes.org/events for more information. And thank you all very much for being with us. Thank you for watching. Good night.
This program is sponsored in part by the Eugenie and Joseph Jones Family Foundation, a local foundation proud to support the arts and culture in the greater New Orleans area. Support for Steppin Out comes in part from the Kristovich family in honor of Mary Lou and Bill Kristovich.